Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of Kairos Radio. I am your host, David Holland, joining you here today. Time is short, so we're going to hop right into it. Briefly cover what we covered in our first episode, which was physical tangible assets. Today, we want to focus on what we're seeing right now, as of this show airing right today. What's going on right now? There's a lot of confusion in the markets. There's a lot of confusion in the world. I would say there's a lot of confusion in the general public about where we're headed. Our fuel price is headed higher. Are we at war currently with Iran? Are we in a peace treaty? There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces. So we believe in preparedness here. That is the gist, if you will, of this show is getting you prepared and then helping you prepare those next to you. Those degrees of separation, keeping them close, but getting as many people prepared as quickly as possible. We are here sponsored by Alpha Omega Gold, so it's no secret that we believe in physical tangible assets as the best way to store value, store wealth of what you have worked hard for, and keeping that direct. Keeping that in something that you can either hold in your hand, keep in a private depository for safekeeping. You know, you have options here, but that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. That's where we're taking you today, and that's where we believe will prepare you, your family, and your friends for what's coming, what we don't expect, what we don't understand. So right now, there's a lot of places you can buy physical gold and silver. You can go to a local coin dealer. You can Google somebody. You can go to a big online outfit. You can go to a reseller. There's a lot of places you can go. So it's no secret that there are people out there to help you, but not all of them are created equal, and not all of them, I would say, have your interest, your best interest at heart. I have been in the gold and silver industry with a few different companies over the years, and have seen probably some of the worst practices when it comes to clients. And when I discovered those, when I understood them, being a newcomer in the industry, I quickly exited the company. I didn't want to have anything to do with what was going on. So you're listening to a person who has experience, who knows what the bad sides are, but you're also looking at a person, or listening to a person rather, who understands that this is still truly a good way to go. Just because something has bad things associated with it does not mean it is not the right thing to do. So today, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what to look for in a gold company, what to not look for in a gold company. So I'm not here to offend people, but if people are offended, that's up to them. I don't know who else you might have done business with or heard shows from or been in contact with, but many gold companies, gold dealers, big ones that you may have seen on programs with famous faces pushing them, they kind of work off of what's called an exclusivity basis when they sell you metals. So you'll go do business with them. You'll move, say, an IRA or 401k, often tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And they will then talk you into, typically, and they'll have good talking points of selling you exclusive coins or products that you can't get anywhere else but through them. And that is the basis, if you will, of the way this whole industry works. So it's based off of buying exclusive, limited, I wouldn't say collectible, because that's strictly, prohibited, but that's how this industry works. So we do not do that here at Alpha Omega Gold. Through the Kairos Radio show, we do not push anything that's going to keep you trapped or keep you locked in. What we believe in is that gold and silver are great products, and that there are very, very good products that will help you be prepared, whether those products are in your hand, they're within an IRA, they are something you trade back and forth with other like-minded people the world melts down and we're living in a, Mad Max scenario, post-apocalyptic, you name it, and you need to trade silver for food or gold for, gasoline, whatever the case may be that you envision, there's obviously, I don't believe it will get that bad, but, you never know. And we have plenty of history that backs up why gold and silver are what you need when everything is failing. And so often these bigger gold companies will get your money, and then when they go to sell you the coins, they will say, "Hey, you want gold? You want a gold eagle or something, a silver eagle, or but we've got these other coins. So here, let us get you these other coins." And then they will sell you something that only they have access to, and then they will sell it to you at a very, 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 very high premium. And the problem with that is that within their own ecosystem, those coins supposedly have a value. But it is kind of built on something that, I don't know, would be akin to a Ponzi scheme, because if everyone who had bought their coins rushed back to the dealer to sell them, then the whole thing would fall apart, because they are counting on 95+% or 90+% people never asking for their coins back within, a certain time period. Now, I am not a person who believes and do not recommend that you buy coins to then turn around and trade and try to make money on that. That is not the overall purpose of that. There's plenty of paper products and crypto junk that you can play with that'll help you do it, but not this. This gold and silver should be held in reserve and should be there when you need it. But that's just it. You need it for when you need it. You don't want to have exclusive coins that only one company can pay you any sort of a premium on. Because I can tell you right now, where I'm sitting in my office, I have a drawer where I have a box of various sovereign coins that I buy from a wholesaler, and I can get them very cheap. I haven't bought any in a while, but I still have quite a few. And I can tell you, in that box of sovereigns, I have quite a few coins that other companies have marketed as exclusives and probably sold at a very high markup. But I bought them very cheap, because outside of that company, they are not worth really anything more than just a standard trade-in value of physical silver. So we would rather put you into more recognizable products, more functional products, whether it's stuff that the U.S. Mint produces, the Canadian Mint, or even just stuff that is, easily transferable, things like 10-ounce silver bars. I'm a big believer in fractional gold, which are, larger gold pieces that are available to be segmented into smaller pieces. Those often come at a bit of a premium, but that is due to the minting expense and is well worth the extra cost, in my opinion. So you get more opportunities to have value in gold other than just a large chunk. So gold and silver should be functional. If I were to sell you gold and silver, and then a week later, my company or I were to disappear, or you couldn't get to me, you need to be able to take what you bought from me and from my company, or any company rather, and go to a place down the street, or go to another dealer, or go to a neighbor, and have the value, the general value of what you purchased should still be there. And that is what we want our clients to have. We don't want you to take a coin that you thought was worth so much because someone told you it was, and then everyone else except for that person or that company says, it's not really worth anything special. It's just general resale. So be careful when you're talking to other companies, gold companies. Just do not fall for, this is special, this is rare. These are things that will lock you into their retail or resale ecosystem. And that value only exists when you sell it back to them. It does not exist outside of them. So that is how most of these companies are built. So we want you to be able to have a good value, from time to time. It should be truly valuable to you wherever and whatever happens. And that's what we want to talk about and we want to help you with. So if you ever talk to another company and you want an outside voice, just message us over at info@ao.gold, and we will help you. We can, take a look at another company's quotes to see if what you're getting might be good, or see if we can maybe do you one better, or we'll give you a thumbs up if they've got a better price or a great price. Then we'll tell you that. I truly believe in gold and silver as what it is. It is not just a job for me. It is something that I do believe in, as far as stability and what it should be functional for you for. So again, the Kairos Radio Show is sponsored by Alpha Omega Gold, which is found on the web at ao.gold. You can call us at 855-426-4653. You can email us at info at ao.gold. We do have forms on the website there on the main web page of Alpha Omega Gold at ao.gold. We'll send you a gold guide. We actually have a PDF about why Christians should buy gold. We wrote, and it's a summary of a video we did with a friend of the program, Britt Gillette. So it's something that you would find very, very interesting. And welcome back to Kairos Radio for the second portion of our program. Good to be with you here. My name is David Holland, host of Kairos Radio, owner of Alpha Omega Gold, who sponsors this program. In the first half, we were talking quickly just about common missteps and practices that the industry, unfortunately, has perpetuated over the last several decades, and has, been to the detriment of quite a few buyers of gold and silver, people who expected more but unfortunately got less. We went over quickly, and if not, you can find us. If you didn't hear the first part and jumping in a little bit late, you can find these programs are available on YouTube. We post them there after they air. You can go back and listen to the first half. But we went over how the exclusive coins, or you can only get this coin here and it has a much higher value over time. It's a false, I guess, premise, if you will. Some of those coins, yes, they do have a higher value, but most of us, I would say, unless we're a rare coin investor, of which there are quite a few, and those coins do have a pretty healthy, I guess, track record of doing quite well. But generally, that's not what you're in the market to do. You're looking at getting, a reasonable bang for your buck. I'm not a person, I think there's too much stress involved for me. I like deals like anyone else. I like deals. But at the end of the day, if a deal is going to drain my energy, if it's going to drain my resources, and is going to be way more stress than what I'm trying to get out of it, then the deal it's not a deal. It's just a more stress. So I'm okay that some things I pay more for. I expect to pay more for some things, but I want, to get mileage out of that. And so I do believe that people who buy gold and silver should get what they're looking for out of it. They should get mileage. They should get a return. It should do what it would, what it was probably promised to them as. I'm not here to give you false promises, to tell you that it's going to do, up and up and the world's going to be, perfect from here on out once you buy gold and silver. That's not the way that works. It is part of a preparedness mindset. It's pretty clear. Proverbs 27:12 tells us that the wise man sees what's coming. He sees into the future. He knows that there's something coming, and he prepares himself. But it says the simpleton, or the simple man, just passes on, acts like nothing's happening, and he suffers the consequences of that. So if you are fully in paper assets, and this assault that we currently see of the petrodollar status around the world is happening, and you aren't invested in gold and silver, which is going to be more akin to a universal currency accepted everywhere in the world, that's where you need to move yourself, your assets, the IRAs, 401ks. If you have excessive savings that you're concerned about being in the bank, those are things that, I would seriously take a look at protecting or converting into physical, tangible assets. But again, you need to step carefully. You don't just need to, go to Google and type in gold company, because if you do, I could almost promise you that if you were just to put a generic search in there, there's going to be a good portion of the top 10 responses you get back are not going to be in it for you. They're not going to be at least have we both win attitude. I believe in the we both win. A transaction needs you to win. It needs me to win. When we're engaged in any sort of an economic enterprise, if you will, if I'm buying or selling, if it's one-sided, we both lose. But if we both can benefit from the transaction, that's when we can perpetuate that and keep going into the future, and we can both be successful. I do believe God is the author of a good, healthy economic system, of which I believe America has been very blessed to be a part of. But we are increasingly having weak dollar. We are increasingly having inflation and many things that we cannot control. So we need a way to preserve that. And that is through, I believe, the God-given resources of gold, silver, precious metals that have no counterparty risk. I've heard it referred to by someone else, so I won't take credit for it, but gold and silver are referred to as real estate that you can put in your pocket. So that real estate may be pretty small in size, but it has a value given to it based on a universal recognition around the world of tribes, cultures, people, language groups that say that thing has value. It took sweat. It took some shovels or some machines and some energy input to extract, to refine, and to put it into place. And now I'm holding that value in my hand, and that value is set around the world. Now, I do believe at this point, this is just me, again, not financial advice or anything, but I do believe that value is undervalued for silver and undervalued for gold, and will go higher. But there's many forces at work, so we'll wait to see how all this goes. But I'm a big believer in where this is heading, because unfortunately, I also believe that the U.S. dollar is not headed where it should be. It is headed, just like all other fiat currencies in the past, it is headed to the dustbin of history, and something will replace it. But I do believe that something that will replace it would be something backed, whether it's digital, whether it's paper, whether it's who knows what, but it will be something backed by a tangible asset or a basket of tangible assets. So again, first half of the program, we were talking quickly about how not to get taken, do not buy into the exclusive coin trap from other companies. If you get into a relationship with another gold company and they want to sell you some sort of an exclusive coin and tell you it's going to have a higher value, you're free to do whatever you want, but understand that that higher value is solely dependent upon that company being solvent going forward. If you want to have freedom outside of the system, true freedom that says what I have has value, if the company I bought it from was to disappear, or they didn't give me a buyback like they told me, then you need other products than what they're selling you. We're happy to give second opinions. Again, at info@ao.gold. Feel free to email us there. You can also call 855-426-4653 on the phone. Call us Monday. Monday's usually the best day to get a hold of us. Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning. We're pretty busy. Everyone's busy on Mondays, but give us a call if you're in the middle of one of these relationships, if you will, or understanding, we just want more information. We do have some guides that will help you out, but we do not offer exclusive coins. If you want something specific, we can see if we can search our network and find what you're looking for, but we are not going to pressure you into specifically buying certain types. We have recommendations. I can tell you what I personally own, what I personally buy, what a lot of our clients do. We're happy to do that. That's not a problem. But we're not going to pressure you into exclusive coins that are really better for the company than they are for the buyer. So we do not do that. We do not operate that way. It does go against the principles of, I believe, running a good Christian company that would be based on biblical values. I want you to succeed. If you do business with me, your success makes me a success. If I win and you fail, then that was not a transaction, and we both fall at the end of the day. And likewise too, if I get in a transaction with a person and they win completely and I lose, then we've both lost because I'm not able to support them going forward or help them. So we need companies and we need people that have a good mutual beneficial relationship, and we aim to do that with everyone that we can and everyone that we can talk to, educate, let them understand and know the processes and how this works. So with the chaos going on around us, I believe it's the time to move. I believe it's the time that you should be looking not with anxiety, not with anxiousness, not with fear, but with sober determination that where I'm at is not a good place. If I was, I'm not in Florida. Maybe you're on Florida. If so, hope it's nice there right now. But if you're on the beach in Florida and you had a nice house there, but you saw something on the weather channel or on the news that said, "Hey, there's a system forming out in the Atlantic basin, and the timing was right for a hurricane," and you saw it building, and you began to see the spaghetti models and the tracking, and it looked more and more as the days go by, it was getting closer to you. You would want to take stock of where you are, what you have. Are my windows boarded up? Do I have extra gasoline? What category of a storm is this going to be? How is my family prepared for this? Do I have extra food? What happens if the power goes out? Do I have enough insurance? All these things that get very, very tight as the timeline gets narrow and narrow. If that storm is coming for you, you need to be prepared before that storm is on the shores. Before you're feeling the outer bands and the winds of the hurricane, you need to have your plan well set, because what happens at the very end of that, there's not going to be room. It's like being in a crowded theater and yelling fire. Everyone rushes for the exits, but the exits are only designed for manageable outflows. When everyone rushes to the exit and it's too late, you're out. You're going to get stuck and crushed in that choke point, and you are going to be a loser. You are going to be a person who is either going to suffer, or they're going to get a very bad deal, or they're going to be in a lot of pressure. So you don't want to be there. You want to have prepared. The wise man sees what's coming and prepares, but the simpleton passes on and suffers the consequences. So we want to empower you to be a wise person, wise man or woman. Take charge of yourself. Get prepared. The time is nigh. The situation's looking dark. Now is the time to get